Welcome to Impact Innovators at the Fireside, where our oldest disruptive technology, fire, meets cutting-edge innovation right here among the trees. My name is Arye Khan. And today I'm with Chingiskhan, Kazakhstan, and Max Schalow, aka the Bondi Boys, the founders behind the Netherlands' first legal e-scooter business. Urban mobility demands thoughtful solutions. According to them, cars sit idle 95% of the time, consuming valuable space, while cities worldwide seek alternatives for dense environments. The Bondi Boys exemplify the founder journey, 5 years navigating regulatory hurdles and pivoting their business. So I invited them to the campfire because their regulatory marathon represents the persistence I deeply admire in founders. We'll explore their engineering challenges, the regulatory battles, and whether this approach can scale beyond niche applications. I am so curious to test their vision for truly sustainable cities. This is Impact Innovators at the Fireside, and it's time to light the fire. Right, guys. So, thank you for joining the Forest podcast at the campfire. There you go. Chingiskhan, Kazakhstan, and Max Schalow. Please correct me if I'm saying it wrong.
That was perfect.
Perfect.
I mean, his is much harder than mine, but...
I was struggling with yours. Schalow?
Yeah, Schalow. Yeah,
all right, good. I've been practicing on the Chingiskhan, Kazakhstan for a while. So, how did people call your name in a bar? Do they say Chingiz or Chingiskhan, or what did they say?
At that point, I don't really remember, but it's all sorts of things. I guess the shortest one is CK.
CK, yeah. That's your email address.
Yeah.
CK at SELANA.nl.
Yeah, it's just easier to type. Yeah.
Makes sense. Absolutely. Hey, thanks for coming over. So, what we're doing here is we're having a genuine conversation at the campfire about technology and the impact of technology in a good way and maybe also in a bad way on our world. And obviously you brought your tech with you here. The first legal e-scooter in the Netherlands, I heard, right?
Sure.
But before we talk about it, I wanted to ask you what the problem was that you saw in the world that led you to this thing.
I guess we can start, if this is a long podcast, we can start from the start, how we met even.
How did you meet? Sure.
Yeah, because I guess it's kind of like a part of the story as well. Because both of us, we came to the Netherlands to study. And I guess both of us ended up in the same uni as well in Arnhem at Han.
Yep.
First day of intro day, we were both like the night before at the party. So we both in the morning ended up in the wrong group. And this wrong group was the same group where we both were. And I got some Chinese food because I was so hungry and it was like the only thing there. And then I couldn't finish it. And I was like, okay, who wants to finish the food? And Max was like, me. And then we're like, oh, what's up? And then
no food waste.
No food waste.
Oh, cool.
Sustainable.
Yeah. Great.
And then we started talking about stuff and then we're like, oh, we both want to do something more than just studying.
Right.
And that's kind of when it
this?
started.
What year?
5 years ago?
Yeah,
5 years ago?
2018, I think.
And you wanted to do more than studying, so you decided to start a company that needed to go through regulatory constraints for like 5 years?
We got to do that, exactly. No, it started a bit, so even in uni already, we saw we were international students and there was all these like Dutch associations for the students there, but nothing proper, at least for internationals.
Yeah.
So we just started like kind of organizing our own events around that, just connecting the students, getting them together. We even did like CV courses or like stuff to help you with your LinkedIn. So it wasn't all about partying, although that was a part of it, because that's just where students meet each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we already saw we work well together. We like organizing things. We like bringing the people together.
Do some charity things as well. Also some small businesses, I guess, here and there. At some point we even start selling makeup because some genius told us, if you want to do a business, do something that you don't care about, because you kind of look at it from a different perspective.
Okay.
But
that's interesting.
Yeah. But it's something you don't care about. That's basically it. So Yeah. Which side?
It's interesting advice because, like, I mean, in a sense, it makes sense, right? Like, then you're going to approach it completely differently to all the competitors. But also, like, I think in business, you really need to care about what you're working on, right?
Do you care about this thing?
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But makeup,
Not so much.
yeah.
Or less now.
We like to shower like once in a while. What kind of makeup with it? No, I'm just joking.
So the first global problem you stumbled upon was food waste. Now you solved that together while at university, right? So help us. How do we go from there to, I guess, urban mobility?
Yeah. So we were with the two friends of ours back in the day as well, and each of us like wrote like ideas on the sticky notes, and we like covered like the whole wall of like the friend's room in like sticky notes with different ideas.
Yeah.
And then we kind of were debating which one all of us liked. And actually mobility was part of it, because I guess as a student you have like a really like bad Oma feet, and like
Oma feet.
yeah. But,
What's that? Like a granny bicycle.
the granny
right?
bicycle, yeah. And also, yeah, the car as well is like not really the solution because it's not really like that nice anymore. I think people our age, people our age don't like cars anymore, I guess. It's like it's too costly, it's too like polluting, it's like standing around, like all the maintenance and stuff.
Yeah.
It's too much. I don't know. We don't want to have a car as well. And that kind of was it as well.
So you had sticky notes, and you decided mobility was going to be the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of crossed off all the bad ideas or like went through the whole thought process of how it would look as a business. But then, I don't know, mobility kept coming up quite a lot. And we thought, okay, maybe that's something more impactful that we can build a business around as well. Like, you know, we've been cycling all our lives. Maybe for Ching is a bit different because he's from Kazakhstan, but like mobility is still a big part. And there is still a really big problem in cities, and that's cars, right? Even in the Netherlands, right? The car sits around 95% of the time. Usually like one person is driving it. It's polluting, takes up a lot of space. It's bad for the environment. It's dangerous. And that's really where we saw also around this time, like shared mobility was coming up quite a lot. And we thought, okay, maybe we could ourselves be a part of that because it was still not that big in the Netherlands. So yeah, first we thought, okay, let's do e-steps in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Little did we know.
They're illegal, yeah.
They're illegal.
Yeah. Just details, yeah.
A small one.
So before we go there, so the problem was mobility, urban mobility, which of course is a big global problem. But you started out of the Netherlands, and also you decided to focus on the Dutch regulatory process. You could have decided differently, right? You could have gone somewhere else where it would have been more easily. Why why stick around?
Well, we still had the study to complete.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
And we were pretty good students. So in the first year we got the P, the proper
Yeah.
so it was going well. And we thought like this is like a perfect like kind of the ground to kind of like showcase to the rest of the world how like the perfect future city can look like, because already infrastructure here is amazing with like all the bike lanes and like all the shops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So infrastructure is there. We just need to provide the alternative to the cars, and I think then we can really show this like city of the future, like the culture of the future to the rest of the world. So then everyone else copies it.
And that hasn't happened yet.
No, I guess not
Right?
yet. Yeah.
Not yet. So why is that? Why has it been difficult? You told me like you came here by electric vehicle, by car, right? So you've got an electric car. I'm in the process of buying one, I'll admit, and I was supposed to get it last week, but for reasons I have to wait until next Friday. But so this thing with urban mobility, we're all still driving gas cars, right? So many people are at the the station putting gas in their cars. So that hasn't really been solved. Why is it taking so long?
It's the culture, I guess. Yes, because
Is it the Dutch culture or is it just people?
it's just world culture. I think this all these Fords and Mercedes of this world did a really good job with the whole marketing, because you never all the car ads you see, it's like you driving fast and you breaking the laws and all this stuff. Nobody says anything about it. And there's so many car accidents happening all the time, and cars just standing there all the time. Nobody says anything about it. And you post a picture of like a scooter like being on like on the road or so, I don't know, like, but you see like still the whole street just full with cars and people complain about this instead of that.
Right.
It's like the wrong mindset that people have.
Right.
And it's just, I think also think with like, oh, when I'm 18, I need to get a car, I need to be cool. But people just don't think about all the things around it as well, like all the extra costs they get because they get like in huge debts because of having a car and like, just so inconvenient and everything. And I think just with a great public transport like here, I don't see the reason even to have a car.
Did you look at other countries?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I was one of those scooters in, I guess it was Texas, in Austin or something, like 6 years ago, right? And I'll tell you, it was really convenient, and I used it all the time. I picked one up and I put it down. It was, I guess it was Lime or something. And also in London, I used them, just not here, right? But I'm sure you can learn from the rollout of these e-scooters globally. Did you dig into that?
A lot, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we even at the beginning we were looking to launch in Dalsberg in Germany because that's kind of close on the border.
Right.
But then we thought, okay, well maybe the Netherlands is a big opportunity because then we can be, well, that could set us apart from the competition. So we went.
Because of the regulatory constraint?
Yeah, exactly. So we thought if we can get past that and do it the right way, and what we found out later is because it's a safer vehicle and everything, then that would make us stand out, and then we could like kind of be the market leader in the Netherlands and then grow from there. So that was kind of like the business strategy. But then through this we Chingis was like had this like podcast as well, and then we would like interview all the top CEOs in the market. I even went to work at DOT, one of the biggest like European e-step sharing companies, just to learn more about the market and see what it's all about.
Yeah.
And then through this, like, I mean, it's always been something that we've done. We always meet with more people to learn from how they set up their business or what they would recommend or how to get like different advice.
And what are they doing wrong that you're doing right?
Well, I mean, the market's developed a lot in the years. And I mean, to be honest, there's been a bit of a shakeout as well.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of venture capital money in shared mobility especially, because it gets so much traction. I mean, as soon as you put the vehicles on the road, people start to use it. We saw it as well ourselves. Yeah. Like the first bike we put on the road, somebody instantly was like downloading the app and using it.
Yeah.
But unit economics and so on are not the best.
Yeah.
So the companies that spent way too much on management and getting all the fancy startup stuff haven't survived, but companies like Lime are now turning profitable. But also because they work with governments well, they make sure to like have all the parking zones in place and stuff, and they've scaled it well. Yeah, so there's been a big change in that market, but I think now we're entering a new age of shared mobility as well, where companies work very well with governments. They know how to do the operations well without being a nuisance on the streets, and just running it really lean. So
yeah, I do have experience with that because we launched with the shared e-bikes with the Bondi.
Yeah.
And we scaled it to like 8 cities around the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of experience with that. But at some point it also like took a bit too much of our focus from the e-step legislation, which is like a big, really big things that we've been working on from the start. So I had to put the whole e-bike share on pause, and I think that happened at a good moment as well, because that was like right before the whole market shakeout happened. So we could sell the bikes for like a good price as well. So we didn't lose that crazy on the whole thing as well. Then we could get back to the e-step approval. And, but soon, Bondi sharing might show up in the news. Something is cooking up. So yeah.
All right.
Because that's also still our dream to like have like shared vehicles on the street that. So you really don't think about owning any vehicle. Like you can just like go outside, grab something easy, just go to the place.
You mentioned you worked for DOT.
Yeah.
Right, which was
active
in
Germany, Brussels, and in Paris at the time. So that's all both warehouses, how they do the operations. And like what I did like about the company as well is they focused a lot from the beginning on like really maintaining the vehicles for a long time. Yeah. So they really saw it that they had to get the most out of one e-scooter, and essentially that's also really important, right? Because you don't want to keep buying scooters every year. Yeah. So they were always maintaining their scooters, replacing all the parts, and even now they have a pretty good video online, like where they're like maintaining their scooters and they replace all the parts, and they have a really good like recycling system.
But they're not active in the Netherlands.
They were active in the Netherlands with
Yeah.
e-bikes,
Right.
but yeah, then they stopped for various reasons. But
So you're stepping into that void now.
well, we did have the e-bikes.
we were the
before,
first ones.
previously.
You were the first ones with the bike, and but so what happened to the bike? Why did that end?
We did it for 2 years, and so we scaled it to 8 cities, like 100,000 users.
Yeah.
And it was a really good experience because we tried all these different models, like completely free floating hubs, like just parking spaces and stuff.
This is Bondi, right?
Bondi, yeah,
company.
yeah. So then, but in the whole meantime, we were working on the e-step. So like we could have definitely got it profitable and kept it running and had it as a sharing business in those cities, but we had to kind of make a decision because it was taking a lot of our time and it was taken away from the focus of developing the e-step.
Yeah.
And we always wanted to also bring the e-step for sharing later on. So we kind of had to make a decision, which was quite tough at the time, but to then sell the bikes for now and put that on pause.
Yeah.
So we sold them to other operators. They're still running in different countries, like all around Europe, basically. And to focus 100% on the e-step. So this was also kind of a bit difficult because it was all in stealth. We didn't really want to tell anyone about it because then the competition knows what we're doing. But then we...
Can you talk a little bit about why the step? Like, why did you switch from a bicycle to a step/scooter?
The step was there from the start. That's why we actually started doing business. That's why we started Bondi, because we wanted to bring the shared e-steps, first shared e-steps in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took a bit too long. So we thought, okay, in the meantime, we can start with the brand Bondi, with the shared e-bikes. Nobody's doing that yet here, so let's start with the shared e-bikes, get the brand out, and then we add the e-steps to the mix, and then it's like a nice mobility mix, because we also at some point we wanted to add like also small cars later and stuff like that, just like even like electric boats for Amsterdam, stuff like that, just like a full mobility mix, one app for everything.
So is that the future?
Yeah.
Expanding to additional vehicle types?
We definitely will do more in the future. I think for now, like the e-step is just a perfect vehicle. It's as small as it can be. It takes up so little space. It's super efficient.
Yeah.
Because it's just a battery and a motor, so it's not really carrying that much weight. And it's just easy to get around on. You're more efficient, and also what we do see in shared is it gets a lot more usage. So actually, you're already solving the problem on a bigger scale, because essentially we're trying to reduce the car usage in cities. So then if more people are using the e-steps, it's better than people who are using the e-bike less.
Okay. All right. So we'll talk about that in a second. But before we do that, I want to give it a try.
Feel free.
Yeah.
Right? So for starters, it's pretty big, right? It's sturdy, I would say, right? It's I don't know. It feels pretty hefty.
Because it's supposed to be a road legal vehicle. That's why so many regulations and stuff.
Kick and go. So can I? What do I?
Yeah.
Do I flip this?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you need to be moving a little bit for it to.
So
to work.
you kick off and you go.
There you go. Oh,
Off-roading experience, nice.
cables. Oh my goodness.
Do you want to like run up to him or something, like some kind of crazy experience?
How does this? Whoa.
There we go.
Can it go faster? Oh, this is the bell.
Yeah, the acceleration isn't too crazy, and this isn't really the ideal environment. But yeah, that's also for safety.
All right. Yeah, it's pretty cool though. It is pretty cool.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Rear brake, front brake.
Yeah, and the lighting, it's got like brakes for lights, it's got indicators on it.
So show me. So what's special about this thing? Because it's a you've got the Dutch regulatory thing, so you need you need a D's, right?
Exactly. So everything, like even the lights, they're certified as well. So they have like E-Mark, which is needed in Europe. All the tires are all certified. So tires this size had never been certified because it's too small, like all the rigs in the testing.
In history.
Right. So
yeah, and you can actually see it's got the Bondi logo on it.
the Bondi logo.
Find it. It's a bit dark right now.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay.
Yeah, so we actually had to certify each component ourselves as well, which was a really difficult process as well, because in other countries they don't really see it as like a road legal vehicle. It's more a toy. So in the Netherlands they're just much stricter on that. So then even the indicators, that wasn't usual at the beginning.
Can you show me the indicators?
Yeah.
Woohoo!
And also on the back
on
as
the
well.
back, right?
Yeah. And then you have like the brake light and the back light, that's also important. And then there's space for an insurance plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is our international version. The legal version looks different, but like essentially kind of same kind of features. But yeah.
Yeah, but this has actually, the RDW did approve the hardware as well, so it's already safe enough.
We saw it internationally already.
Yeah.
So like recently, I think 250 are going to Canada, for example, Florida. Also some are going to Belgium, some are going to Croatia. So yeah, it's...
We already have like 3,000 units signed for. So yeah, we can see there's real demand for it, and we're getting contacted by like all the retailers and everything. So we're just building it up slowly.
So who's your target market? Who are you selling these to?
We're mostly focused on the B2C segment. It's like the more premium. So meet people in their late 20s, maybe with a bit more money. And then later on we'll also make a cheaper version. But then also it has all the sharing functionality. So we're going to sell to the sharing operators and also businesses like booking.com. So if your employees want to go around in an efficient way, then this is a nice option.
I see. And the intention is to take cars off the road. Is that working?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of studies out there as well that like have proven that as well. Like our idea is you walk out the house and then you have the perfect vehicle always readily available, so that you really think, okay, I don't really need this car anymore. It's sitting around, it's just costing me money.
Yeah.
And we do see that is the trend. I think it's still going to take some time to really get there, but essentially this is the future transport because it's just so much easier to get around on.
So I have to address the elephant in the room. So as you know, in the Netherlands we've got all these fat bikes.
Yeah.
Right? And people are upset with them. We've seen some accidents lately with children. How about that? How do you, like, if people mention that to you, how do you respond?
Yeah, I think that's the same issue with like if you go to any media mart around Netherlands, the first thing you see is like 6 illegal e-steps right there, and they're just selling them. And this is like just knockoff toys basically. And this is the same story with the fat bikes. It's just unregulated vehicles. They're like completely like unsafe.
Right.
And people who buy them, they don't really care, I guess. And it's just crazy. So we are actually one of the small number of manufacturers who actually provide a legal vehicle that's like fully certified, fully safe, and like you cannot go like above 25, all these kind of things. So
right.
It's just
I noticed when I was riding it, I guess it was going like 9 or 10 kilometers an hour, right? Is it because it's tuned down, or is it the environment?
Exactly. So we really wanted to make sure it's safe for everybody to ride. So it doesn't accelerate very fast.
Yeah.
The top speed's 25, so it's the same as like an e-bike.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's going to go on the bike lane as well. But we really wanted to make sure it fits the regulations. We do everything correctly. Because the other problem is at the moment, like e-bikes aren't regulated at all. Like you can just kind of put, as long as it's pedal assisted, any bike with a 250 watt motor on it from China on the road, and that with this vehicle it's just extremely heavily regulated, so you can't do that. So I think this will also change.
So does it make it safer as well?
For sure, yeah. So we do all the quality testing as well in the production facility. We check over everything.
But a big difference between this and a bike, of course, is that this is going to be on the, on the sidewalk.
No,
or is it going to be on the road?
This is going to be on the road or on the bicycle lane. So I think in other countries, when there's no bike lane, you have to drive with the cars, and that's really dangerous.
Yeah.
But in the Netherlands, there's bike lanes everywhere and protected bike lanes.
Yeah.
Everyone knows this vehicle is for the bike lane. So we won't really have that problem like we see in Germany, where people are riding on the footpath. Because that's the only reason they do that is because it's really unsafe to drive with the cars. But in the Netherlands, that's not really going to happen. So
what's next after the Netherlands?
The rest of Europe. I think because the current EU countries as well, they're making the regulations tougher for the whole e-step market. So as the transport authorities here told us, the Europe basically will copy the same regulations as in the Netherlands. So for us, then that opens the opportunity to enter the European market and be really early in the game there as well.
And where do you start? Belgium? No?
Everywhere.
Germany?
Everywhere. I think after the Netherlands, we just go everywhere.
Just go everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we need to see what markets are good for it. But yeah, I mean, Germany is an obvious one. France is an obvious one.
Yeah, in France, the e-scooters already outsell e-bikes. So it's already it's just a good vehicle coming up market, yeah. So I think just Italy as well, Eastern Europe is also coming up now. Spain, everywhere, yeah.
So technology often promises to improve and, do something good for the world. But then eventually what we find out is that it bites us in the ass, right? And we're sitting at the campfire because this is the original technology, the original disruptive innovation. And look at what's happening now with all the smoke going up. It's biting us in the ass. So how can you be certain that the product you're developing ends up, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, in the right kind of place? Like, what about recycling? What about the batteries that you have in there? How long is it going to be on the road for? Any ideas?
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, we only use high quality components as well. So if you compare it to the knockoff stuff that you can find in MediaMarkt, it's really much better. So this will have much longer lifetime. And again, you felt it yourself, it's really
sturdy.
It's a sturdy vehicle.
Yeah.
It's not going to break. That's why I even said you can chuck it off the roof later if you want. But it's going to last a long time, and then you can always just replace the parts and stuff. We're going to have our own refurbished store.
Can I take the battery out? Can I replace it?
You can do that later because I don't have the.
Okay, it's possible for me as a consumer.
Yeah.
To do that.
Yeah.
What do I do with the battery? Do I bring it back to you or?
Yeah, there's a lot of cool partners that we have as well that they can replace certain battery cells as well to make the battery live again, and they use this cells elsewhere.
Oh,
but then they can also just reuse these things, and it's just as you can see, it's a piece of aluminium that can be recycled as well.
Right.
On two small wheels and the motor basically. So it's pretty simple vehicle, so it's pretty easy to recycle it as well in this case.
Yeah. Okay, but so tell me about the battery. So you just said you're partnering with a company that recycles not the entire battery, but they take out a single cell and then replace it.
Yeah.
And how does that work? Do you know how that works?
Yeah, well, I mean, the company takes care of that. It's a German company, but because of this boom of e-steps all around the globe, basically, they and a lot of them use the same batteries. They can cut it open. They can reuse the cells. They can see which ones are working.
So you're using standardized components for that?
Yeah. So we used a lot of standardized components here as well, just to make sure that we don't kind of copy Van Moof by making everything ourselves when there's already tried and tested components out there that we can use, and that's also better for longevity. So, yeah, that.
So is it would you say it's like a Fairphone?
I mean, you can't just swap things out and everything, but I mean, it has a lot of standard components on purpose.
Right.
It's like Apple iPhone, I guess. You can later just bring it back to us and get a discount on the next newer model.
And you're going to refurbish it and sell it again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any ideas on, the impact you're making as you intend to take these cars off the road? Are you, obviously it's early, right? You haven't sold them yet, but it would be great to understand whether people are actually trading in their cars and switching to this thing.
Yeah, I think it would be good even if we could do research on that as well to really find out what our users are using it for, and if that is supporting our goals.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that is what we're trying to do. And then I think also we will get back to the shared mobility, which I think has a bigger part, because all the young people aren't even thinking about buying cars because there's all these shared options available for them. And we have done research as well with our users back in the past, what they use it for, and we saw a lot it's to go to work or to go to school. And you see the younger population, their mindset is really changing. They're not even thinking about owning a car. It's too expensive, and even they're sharing everything, right? More people are renting. And I think, I really believe it's also part of the shared mobility that's changing their mindset.
Yeah. Right. So it took you 5 years to get this thing on the market. I'm sure you've had your oh shit moment, or multiple oh shit moments. Tell me about those.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a difficult process in general, right? Like, nobody's done it before, like legalized the e-step, so there was no template for it, and also the government didn't know what to do in a lot of cases. So this has been a very tough thing to go for. And of course, you know, we're a business. It needs to be financed, so we have like private investors and stuff. And luckily, we were doing the e-bikes as well, so then we were generating revenue to kind of keep the company going. But it has been tough in that sense.
Was there like, there must have been a moment where you thought, okay, this is not going to work. Let's do something else.
So many to be honest. Because also, like, at some point, like when you feel like you're so close to getting the approval and like you hitting the requirements that are there, then all of a sudden, oh, these rules don't apply anymore. Here's the new list of rules, and you got to just kind of start again. And like this is just like, and you already spent so much money. You like made all the molds and things like that. Like it's and then it's just like nothing. Make it again, you know, things like that. And just through the story, I think it was a lot of times that we nearly gave up. And actually, before the announcement as well, the public announcement that we did with the whole e-step, I think like a couple of weeks before that, we nearly gave up on the whole project again.
Oh yeah.
Because it just didn't make sense for us because we didn't know like what's happening.
Yeah.
But like we had a nice meeting with the ministry, and then everything was put on paper about like, the clarity with the pace that we're going now, end of the year is the aim. And that's why we also went public with this whole thing, because now we know it's actually happening finally.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So all these 5 years were for something then.
And has it been the two of you throughout those 5 years, or tell me about the team? Do you have a team?
Yeah, we have a team. It grew, it downscaled, it grew, it downscaled. It's just like it's up and down. Even at the beginning, I think when we just started at the uni, we just went around our university campus to different departments like engineering, marketing and stuff. And we're just asking people around who wants to join us in this like cool project to do. So that was like actually like our first team that we had, like just like students doing it for free in their free time. Because we always know that you need to just be people to just that know more than you in different spheres, just like to help you out in this way.
Absolutely.
Then we hired our first people as well after we get the funding. And like I think we grew pretty big as well with Bondi.
So how many people do you have on the list now?
Now it's really little, to be honest. I think that's also what we realized is you don't need too many people to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And actually, also like things like interns actually make like a big change for the like startup in the startup world, because I think I know a lot of interns who like did more work than people who got paid. So like a salary, and it's just interesting. I think it's more about people themselves and like their motivations and just what they want in life. I guess it's just interesting. But yeah, you can do so many things with a low number of people. So because that's what I don't like as well. When you like on the startup event or something like that, first question: how many people do you have? This should never be the first question.
All right. So let me ask you this: how many people do you have?
It's mostly interns actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're very lean.
Super lean.
Yeah.
Well, we have like one main quality engineer.
Where is it produced? Where do you?
So we work with a production facility in China, but we have complete control over the production line. So we check over everything every time the production is done.
Yeah.
We're also there as well to make sure that all the processes are followed the way that we've written them down.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the moment it's just still the best place to produce these types of vehicles, because they have the whole supply chain over there, so you can easily source all the components. And then for now we're assembling it over there. We do some final assembly in the Netherlands and then package it up. But yeah, that's basically the whole thing.
I think my most favorite moment in the Bondi history so far was when like a mom, she came with her child to our office to like with some flowers and some like chocolate, and she said like, I'm a nurse, I use your bikes to go to work every day, like thank you for being there, like thank you for your service. And it's like nice, like
oh, that's great. Yeah,
things like that, like that's what makes us keep working.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, she was using the Bondi bike.
Yeah, every day.
And she came to your office with chocolate.
Yeah, she on Instagram she like DM'd to the company like, hey, like what's your address, I just want to drop off something.
Oh, nice. That's a great story. So now we're gonna throw this thing off the roof, right?
Let's do it.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
As darkness settles around our campfire, I thank the Bondi boys for illuminating the path to sustainable urban mobility. Subscribe to join us next time at the campfire. Until then, I'm Arye Khan. Keep your innovative spirit burning.